Live from Chicken and Pickle, this is the UTSA Basketball Coaches Show. The UTSA Basketball Coaches Show, brought to you by UT Health San Antonio, the official healthcare partner of UTSA. Here, everything's better. By Chicken and Pickle, home of the UTSA Coaches Shows. By Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. By Credit Human, become a member today. Visit credithuman.com. By North Park Subaru, proud member of the Kalig Auto Group. By Cowboys Air Conditioning, the official HVAC partner of UTSA Athletics. And by...
All right, bud, here we go. Stand by.
We're from here. Now, live from Chicken and Pickle, here's the voice of the Roadrunners, Andy Everett.
And welcome to our third show of the year, live from Chicken and Pickle out here at Vance Jackson and UTSA Boulevard as we talk basketball, UTSA basketball with the men's and women's coaches for the next hour here. Austin Claunch joins us to start the show. How are you doing tonight?
Good. Appreciate you having me again, Andy. This is great.
Thank you so much. 2 tough losses this week to North Texas, and really a tough loss to UAB as you got to within one a couple of times. Kind of assess how you felt about these 2 games this week.
Well, we knew after starting, 2-2 that this next stretch would be, we'd learn a lot about our team. Obviously, North Texas and UAB are 2 teams at the top of our league, and I think that first half against North Texas, obviously not our best basketball and, quite frankly, got hit in the mouth a little bit. But I was really proud of how we responded in that second half to get it, I think, to a 2-possession game, or had a layup to make it a 2-possession game with 5 minutes left. And then went on the road against UAB, obviously team picked to win our league. And we're right there, have a shot to tie it at the end, 1-point game. So we're playing better. We're heading in the right direction. But, now it's time. We ultimately want to figure out how to win these games and get big wins to keep us moving up the standings.
When you play that well against a North Texas team, it's the second half anyway, against North Texas, and the whole game against UAB, I know you're not into moral victories, no one is, but does that give the team some confidence? Hey, we're hanging with some of the best teams in the league. A play here, a play there puts us in the winner's circle.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly gives you confidence, when you play well, regardless of the result. But with that being said, this is a group that wants to ultimately lead their own legacy. We're excited about the foundation that we're building. But this is a team that's shown that we can compete with anybody in the league when we're locked in. And this is a league every night. I mean, anyone in this league can beat anybody on any
We're
given
just watching
night.
Wichita State handle Memphis.
Yeah, Wichita's a good team. They've had ups and downs. Memphis is, every team in this league has had ups and downs throughout the course of the year. So, listen, we're not satisfied with where we are at all. There's some games that we feel that we were right there that we couldn't figure out how to win. But certainly we want to be playing our best ball, as we move into the end of this month, heading into February, and, of course, in March.
In your wins, you got off to good starts. The UAB game, you got off to a good start. They got up 11, but then you were able to get it down to 5 or 4, somewhere around in there, and I think it was 6 at halftime. But those starts are really important. Digging a hole in this against these really good teams is hard to climb out of.
Yeah, especially just for different reasons. North Texas is one of the best defensive teams in the country, and obviously they swarmed us there early on at home. We were able to get into a rhythm in the second half and get back in there. And UAB is, a really good offensive team, of course, super talented. Lindenberg is a handful down there. So, once we settled into both those games, obviously, we showed what we're capable of. But, yeah, no doubt, we need to get off to better starts. That's going to be really important on Saturday against a good Temple team. And
you're playing at home this Saturday, and a lot of people talk about home court advantage, but sometimes you want so badly to win those home games. Do you sometimes play too hard or with too much emotion? Because on the road, you seem, even though you haven't won a lot on the road, you seem relaxed a little bit more on the road.
Yeah, I don't know. I certainly think that there's an element of just, being comfortable and in the combo. But at the same time, yeah, like you said, sometimes that can add a little bit extra emotion that can, maybe cause a little bit more turnovers or your shots not to be quite as in rhythm. I try not to think too much about that. Ultimately we want our preparation tomorrow to be really good. Need to have a great shoot around on Saturday morning. We got off to a great start a couple weeks ago against Wichita and against Tulsa. So ultimately we need to find a way to replicate that. As we play a team that's playing really well. Temple's playing really good basketball, so all 40 minutes are going to be important, let alone the start.
How do you as a coach define a good practice or a good shoot around? What goes on where you at the end of the day go, that was a good practice today, I think we're ready?
That's tough to say. To me, it starts with focus, and sometimes you can just see when you walk in a gym and you feel the energy and you can see it on your guys' faces that they're ready to go however long it takes, and we're at the time of the year now where, we don't want to be in there for 2.5 hours. We want to get in there for 90 minutes, be focused, go hard, understand the assignment and the task at hand. And against Temple, that's it's going to be really, really important to understand personnel, understand how we want to score on the other side, and then finish possessions with rebounding.
Yeah, this is the time of the year where rest is important. So get your work done early, and then go get ready for the games.
Yeah, no doubt. And getting in, finding time to get shots in, throughout the course of the day. I know we had an off day today, but I know a lot of those guys were in there on their own, putting some work in, getting shots up, and just keeping your own game tight as well as the team dynamic. That player development side of it, I think, is really important this time of the year. You can't forget about your individual development, your individual skill work during this, obviously team-focused kind of part of the season.
Speaking of shooting, I love watching Damari shoot threes. He got hot the other night at UAB. He's got a great release, and a lot of times as soon as he shoots it, it's either going to go in or be close to going in.
Yeah, he's 6'7", and so that helps as well. He doesn't need a lot of space. He's one of the most pure shooters I've ever been around. And because of that, he really draws a ton of gravity, right? So even when he's out there, even if doesn't have it, the threat of him, being able to make catch and shoot threes, I think really opens things up for the rest of the team as well. So, when he's got it rolling, you look at our conference games, when he makes 3 or 4, our offense really seems to hum. So we got to continue to find ways for him to get open shots.
And he made, a really great defensive play in the corner at the end of the half against UAB the other night. They didn't even get a shot off.
Well, I think that's why he, played as well as he did, because he had 7 rebounds. I thought it was his best defensive game of the year, and we mixed it up, ran some zone, ran some man-to-man. He's someone that's played in really big games, so we value his, not just what he brings from a points per game or a three-point standpoint, but he's got great experience. He's got great basketball IQ. When he plays well, we're a really, really good basketball team.
All right, we're going to introduce you to assistant coach Nick Bowman coming up in the next segment. The players off today with their off day, so Nick will join us for the next segment, and we'll talk about his role on this team. If you're looking for a new or pre-owned car, look no further than Ensira.com. Shop every make and model in one location and get a great low Ensira price only at Ensira.com. only at Taco Cabana. On the UTSA Basketball Radio Show, we're joined by Nick Bowman, one of UTSA's assistant coaches. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being out here tonight. Take us through your role as an assistant coach. I know every school's a little bit different, and you guys kind of share the scouting report with Joey and Joe and everybody else, but kind of take us through all the stuff that you do to get ready for games.
Yeah, Andy, thanks for having me. I do a little bit of everything. I think on the daily basis, I work mostly with our guards offensively, but then I'm really just here to assist coach in any way I can, right? We all have scouts. We all share those responsibilities. We have a great staff, and I have great coworkers that are always there to help me when I need it. But our biggest responsibility every day as a staff is to help him find the best way for our team to be successful. And so that's really what I'm focused on every day.
You guys worked together at Clemson, I guess, was when you first knew each other, right?
Yeah, so we shared an office together at Clemson. Didn't really know much about anything other than we knew we worked for a really, really good basketball coach in Brad Brownell, who we were fortunate enough to learn from and remain close with. And we just tried to soak it all in. We didn't know how good we had it. But fast forward to now, that's a relationship that is almost a decade in the making. And I'm just very thankful for our friendship, but also our working relationship, because I do think it's a special place for us to work here.
Austin, talk about what you remember most about your days together at Clemson, and then the phone call you made when you got the head coaching job here for Nick to join the staff.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Like you said, we ended up sharing an office together, so we were with each other every single day. And even when I left to go to Nichols as an assistant, this is a guy I would talk to every single day. So our relationship, like you said, we had an incredible working relationship at Clemson. But this is somebody that I trust as one of my best friends, one of my closest friends. And I think, for me, when I was lucky enough to become a head coach, I learned very early on, you want to surround yourself with people that you trust. Great coaches for sure, but most importantly, you want to surround yourself with people that you trust outside of work. And this is a guy that I know doesn't just care about our program, but he cares about the people within our program. Myself, our staff, our players, and I'd go to war with this guy any day, and I know he would do the same for our program and our guys.
Nick, you told me earlier in the year you're from Ohio. That's where you grew up. But coaches, they're all over the place. You're going to travel if you want to be in this job, and you're going to move a lot. Talk about your basketball days back there and wanting to be a coach and wanting to be a part of this college basketball staff and other staffs for that matter.
Yeah, when I was growing up, my dad was a high school coach, coached for 30 years, and sort of got out when I got into high school, so he could come to my games. I was fortunate enough to be on a really, really good high school team with really, really good players that we won a lot of games and we had a lot of success. Didn't really want to pursue playing, beyond high school. Thought I just wanted to be a regular student. And so I went to the University of Kentucky and didn't want to coach. I'm done with coaching. And then 2 years in, I remember calling my dad saying, hey, I think I do want to coach. And so the plan was to be a high school coach. Transferred to Eastern Kentucky University, worked for a coach named Jeff Neubauer as a manager. I got to practice every day, be on the floor, gave me as much responsibility as I could handle. And probably about halfway through that season, I think I realized this is what I want to do. I want to coach college basketball. And it's just been a climb from there. And, we talked about it earlier in the season. I've gotten a little further from home with every move, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I'm really, really fortunate to have had a long career already in this business.
What was the light that came on that said, I don't want to be a coach, and then all of a sudden it switched to I want to be a coach?
I was pre-law, and so it was probably just some of those classes that I was taking and some of those books I was having to read. I was like, nah, I think I want to coach. Yeah. So.
All right, talk about the recruiting aspect of it and how you guys share that, and how much recruiting has changed from, going to visit kids in homes, and now you're scouring the portal as those things open up.
Yeah, I think our experience at Nichols sort of put us ahead a little bit of that. Definitely when COVID leveled the playing field, right? We were able to really make a lot of progress with Zooms and virtual visits and phone calls and things like that. And then that sort of, when COVID ended, everything started moving faster, right? Because there were no Zooms before COVID. There was no virtual visits or anything like that. And I think we really found something there at Nichols over that offseason. And then when everything opened back up, like I said, everything just moved so much faster, right? So as a staff, we really share a lot of those responsibilities. Coach Deloach, our recruiting coordinator, does a great job of finding really good players, and we're constantly bouncing players back and forth amongst the staff, and then obviously to Coach Claunch. But it's a real team effort, and we're just really trying to find the guys that not only fit our program and our style of play, but also UTSA.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us for a few minutes out here this evening. Best of luck. Can't wait to do it again down the road, and keep up all the fun stuff here. It's fun to be a part of this group.
All right. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Nick Bowman along with Austin Claunch out here. We've got one more segment with Austin, and we'll preview the Temple game coming up in just a minute. If you'd like to win a gorgeous diamond ring for your favorite Roadrunner, America's Diamond is going to make that happen with the Love Your Roadrunner promotion. Go to goutsa.com/promotions and register today, and you could be selected to win an America's Diamond ring at the men's Holmes basketball game on February 8th, right before Valentine's Day. More of the Coaches Show coming up on the UTSA Sports Network. Chicken and Pickle. UTS, it's presented by UT Health San Antonio. See how UT Health San Antonio's brightest minds are making lives better at WeMakeLivesBetter.org. Before we talk about Temple coming up this weekend, a couple of things to touch on. David Hermes is getting a lot more minutes, especially with Mo's injury. Talk about his progress and what you like from him. He seems to do a lot of dirty work for you.
Yeah, I think it starts with the work that he's put in physically. In the weight room, he's a guy that's in there, getting extra work in. His strength and mobility has really, really, improved even in this short time that he's been here. And as a young player in this program, he's somebody that's only going to get better and better as he gets more, experience and confidence. I'm really, really pleased with his growth in his first year here. He's going to be a big part of what we build, moving forward.
UTSA is the second best free throw shooting team in the country. Are you satisfied with how often you're getting to the line, or are there things you can do to get there more often?
No, there's certainly some things we can do to get there more often, and that's some stuff that we've looked into because we're a great free throw shooting team. We're not the biggest team, so that's one thing that we've got to you certainly want to be aggressive, but you also don't want to take bad shots when you're in there either. So there's a fine line in between there. But yes, we do want to find ways to manufacture more free throws because we knock them down when we get there.
When you recruited this group, did you know they were going to be this good at the line? Or was it just something that kind of happened as you were going through practices?
A little bit, but not, of course it's something that you look into. My first year at Nichols, we were one of the best in the country. And then I think my last 4 years there, we were one of the worst in the league. So, it certainly you don't want to overcoach it, right? It's great that we're making them. When you start missing, you don't want to have your guys overthinking.
It's contagious either way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so it's great to see that, it's in these close games, the Rice game, Wichita down there, even in North Texas where we're making our comeback, UAB game, of course. It's going to continue to play a big factor at the end of the games.
All right, let's talk about Temple and what will the Owls bring to the convo on Saturday.
Yeah, really good team. Coach Fisher's done a great job. Obviously, it's his second year. I think they finished 5-13 last year. They're already 4-2 this year with some really big wins. Beat Memphis at home. Jamal Mashburn is an electric scorer. He can score really from all over the floor. But he's got a really, really good cast around him too. They attack off the bounce. They're strong. They're physical. They don't shoot a ton of threes, but when they do, they shoot a high percentage. They're a really good team. And so I'm excited again. We talked about this stretch of the season and how we're playing some really good teams. And we're playing good basketball. But again, you said it early on. We're not really, it's great that we're playing well, but now it's time to figure out how to finish these games and get wins. So, yeah, it'll be a challenge.
I saw Jamal play against us a couple of years ago when we went to New Mexico when he was there. I was a huge fan of his dad in the NBA, and he does have some special skills, the younger one, doesn't he?
Yeah, he picked him up. There's no doubt about that. He can really score. He's fast. And he scores at all three levels. Mid-range, he gets all the way to the cup. He's got great range from three. North Texas did a good job on him last night if you watch their game. And so he's going to come in here and obviously he's going to want to, kind of bounce back. And so we've got to be really locked in on the best way to guard him. But then at the same time, it's not about one guy. You got to make sure you take away the other guys that they put around him.
You're currently tied for 9th in the standings, but the way this works, this time of year especially, you get on a 2-game winning streak, and all of a sudden you may be in 3rd or 4th. You can turn things around pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of basketball left. I'm not super concerned on where we are in the standings right now. I'm more concerned with how we're playing and then finding, we're playing well. But now, like I said, when it gets to winning time, that last 8 minutes, kind of the beginning of the game, like you said, Andy, we've got to come out to the right start. And then we've got to get ready to win the game when it's winning time in the last 7 or 8 minutes. So if we can clean those things up over the next however many games, I'm not even sure we have left, but over this last month and a half, we'll be where we need to be and give ourselves a chance, when we go to the conference tournament.
When you practice tomorrow, when you shoot on Saturday, are there specific things you want to get across at this time of the year? Does that differ, or are you just working on yourself and your sets and the skill that your team has?
You're definitely working on yourself, but certainly there's things that go into each game that are different. How much you want to run something, or what kind of defense you want to play, ball screen coverage, those types of things. So but I do think it's more important to ultimately make sure that you're the best version of yourself every time you come out there. Whether we're playing Temple, the Spurs, high school, you want to be UTSA. There's going to be little things you tweak night in and night out, but we've got to continue to understand our identity and impose that.
Do you ever watch a game and say, I want to run that play, and then you go you see somebody else run a play that you like and
Yeah, sure,
incorporate
of course.
that?
That's what, listen, I'm a coach and I'm a fan. I watch a lot of basketball. I'll watch Temple tonight, and I'll have some different games on in the background. I got a bit of a cheat code right across the street. I get to watch Karen Aston
Exactly.
every day. So I go to a lot of their practices, and super exciting, what they're doing as well. So shout out to them. Excited to hear her talk here in a minute.
All right. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Birds up.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
That's Austin Claunch with us out here at Chicken and Pickle. And speaking of Karen, we'll talk with her coming up next. Chicken and Pickle is the home of the UTSA basketball radio show, and it's presented by UT Health San Antonio. Chicken and Pickle at UTSA Boulevard in Vance Jackson. Our visit with Karen's next. It's the UTSA basketball radio show on the UTSA Sports Network. Basketball team score at home. Haven for Hope Shelter for the Homeless will receive a donation thanks to North Park Subaru. It's North Park Subaru's charity stripe benefiting Haven for Hope. Time to visit with Karen Aston. The UTSA women's basketball team is 8-0, and they're atop the American Conference standings. Congrats on the good play of late and another win last night.
Thank you.
Take us through the Tulsa win last night.
It was kind of a grind, but I think we're just at that point in the season where every game's probably going to look like that quite a bit. I mean, we've played them before. They made some adjustments. I thought we made some also, but anytime you play somebody for the second time, especially as close as it was together, I mean, we really legitimately just played them like 2 weeks ago, and pretty familiar, so they are a team that you just have to stay on edge with the whole game. They shoot the ball so well, but I was proud of the girls.
I was watching some of it last night, and I sense that your team really is having a lot of fun. They like each other. They're playing together. When they make a mistake, they pick each other up. It seems to be a really, really good cohesive group.
Yeah, I think they built the chemistry that they have now. I think it started in the summer. They spent a lot of time together in the summer building and cooking for each other, just doing things that I think bonds kids together. And you can tell. I mean, they have a way of handling things when they're not going great. Leadership is good, but they definitely have a fun way about them. This is one of the funnest groups I've ever coached. All
right, let's talk about Jordan Jenkins. She didn't play great last night. She, as far as points were concerned, you got some point production from others, but she just keeps winning Player of the Week award after another. I think they're going to name the award after her here pretty soon, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, she's been really, really good. Yeah, and you're right. I think that, they had a little bit of a different game plan, I think, against her last night, and it took her a while to adjust to that. But I actually thought that it was, sometimes people kind of pick their poison, and I thought other players stepped up last night, and that's what's going to have to happen. I mean, I don't think everybody's going to let Jordan have 30 every night, and I think we have a good enough team that she doesn't have to have 30 every night, too. So it was nice to see other players really step to the forefront.
Yeah, Nina in particular had 19 in the game, and if they're going to double and triple team her, you have to make them pay somewhere else, and last night you were able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I thought Nina was fantastic last night, and Cheyenne Rowe was really good off the bench. She had good minutes for us, and I thought Idara, that game was really good for Idara because, we're hard on her. We have high expectations, and sometimes, I think I've said this before, we forget she's only a sophomore. Mm-hmm. And, she's still missing shots that I think give her another year under her belt, and they're going to be money. But I thought that last night was a really good game for her confidence. She finished shots, she hit big ones, she made big plays, and this level, as many games as you play, confidence goes up and down, and it was good to see her have a good one.
Yeah, and when you teach somebody something and they work at it and then they see the success in the game, the light bulb comes on and stays on.
For sure. I say that all of the time. I tell young players all the time, if you ever get to the other side of the bridge, you probably don't go back. But it's just getting to the other side, and figuring out what it takes on a daily basis. And the young lady that's here with us tonight is a prime example of that. I know we'll talk about her later, but it's a process. And for some, they're more ready than others. They get it quicker. They don't have to transition positions. There's a lot to being a college basketball player, and I think when they're young, they don't understand that.
When you get off to the start that you've had, non-conference and conference, 8-0 in the league, you want to stay confident. Not necessarily cocky, but there's also a humbleness to this and a work ethic. You know that what you did to get there, you have to keep doing. I refer to Tiger a lot, Tiger Woods, when he was playing golf. Yeah, I won 3 tournaments in a row, but I wanted to win the 4th one. And if I didn't go practice, I wasn't going to, and practice well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that our team understands that. I definitely think that they understand that, yes, we've done a lot of things that we should be proud of, and everybody should be proud of, but there is an end goal, and we're not even close to it. We have another month and a half until you see the light of the conference tournament, and we understand. We understand where we're at. Practice, we try to humble them in practice with our practice guys, and they do a pretty good job of that. So I think they're in a good place. Like, I've been really interested in that piece of it, too. Like, how do they handle success that some have not had before? I mean, Idara said that last night in the press conference, that she's never been in this place before with the team, and It is different, and I think competition inside the team helps with that, and we have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think just leadership, and we have that.
And Jeff talks about this with football, holding everybody accountable. The coaches don't have to do it. It's when the players step up and do it that it kind of resonates throughout the whole team.
Yeah, and we have that. I mean, we definitely have that. I mean, just reflecting back on the Memphis game, their leadership was fantastic because there was a point in that game where sometimes as a coach you're just like, I don't know what button to push right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really them that didn't give in. We reset ourselves with 4 minutes left in the game, and they were the ones that were like, we're okay, like we can do this. And if they didn't think that, like, it wouldn't matter what I told them to do.
Right.
That's on them.
All right, we're going to visit with Maya Linton coming up in the next segment. And also we'll talk with Karen about the off week coming up here. UTSA doesn't play until next Wednesday. If you want tickets to UTSA games, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance members get 2 free tickets to Roadrunners football, basketball, and baseball games when you redeem online. Visit goutsa.com/TFB tickets to learn more and request tickets. We'll visit with Maya next. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. Basketball Radio Show. We're live out here at Chicken and Pickle, and thank you for being out here with us this evening.
Can't hear you.
Why can't you hear me? You should be hearing me.
Can't hear you.
Right, I have no idea why, because we are transmitting, and as loud as we possibly can.
Not picking you up on your mic.
Yes, you are. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
There we go. All right. This is the UTSA Basketball Radio Show. USAA honors the stars who serve in our military as the official military appreciation sponsor of UTSA. We have 2 stars. Usually tonight we just have 1 as the men have the night off, and Maya Linton joins us. Thank you for being part of the show. Talk about how much fun you're having this season with the start that you have at 8-0 in league play.
Yeah, I'm having so much fun. You know, winning is always fun, especially with this group. It's special. We're all so close, and with our coaches, so you know, it all makes it special.
All right, you came here from Duncanville, and tell me about your high school days, and then deciding to be a Roadrunner. What was all that? How that all happened?
Coach Cam actually recruited me when I was at my old high school at Timber Creek, and then followed me over to Duncanville, and then introduced me to Kay, and then I met them, I think, at Nike Nationals. And ever since then, ever since I met them, I just knew that they were just going to be my coaches the next 4 years.
All right, Karen, talk about Maya and what she's brought to this team this year.
Yeah, you can't put a price tag on what Maya brings to the team. I think everybody could see last night, and if you watch our team all year long, like, you can definitely see that she has taken on the task of being assigned to the other team's best player, and we're almost at this point where I'm not sure it matters what position they play. It's just I'm going to have to stick her on whoever it is, but she definitely has taken the challenge of guarding most people's best perimeter player at times, especially if they're a bigger guard, a scoring guard, and just priceless price tag on that. I mean, I said last year that I thought one of the things that really hurt our team is we didn't have a defensive stopper, and you know, Kira was doing a lot offensively and running our team a lot, but then on the other side of that, she was asked to be our stopper also, and I just don't think you can have a championship team if you don't have someone that is able to, like, sacrifice their game, so to say, to focus on that being their job. And I think that, you know, even though Maya has incredibly improved offensively, as she's changed positions, she's gone to the perimeter, the fact that she's been willing to say, okay, like, this is my job, and I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities, has literally changed our team.
Maya, talk about playing that role and getting the assignment. You know, you read the scouting report. That person scores the most. That's who I'm guarding tonight.
Yeah. Coach would just say, like, lock her down, you know, and I just take pride in that, you know, that if that's my job for the game, then that's my job, you know. But yeah, I would just say I just take really much pride in my defense. If nothing's happening on the offensive, you know, you really can't let that affect your game. And, you know, defense wins game. So, you know, something big.
When you've had the success that this team has had, how do you keep it going? And to go to practice every day.
Can't hear you.
And realize that when you are having the opportunity to get ready for the next game, you got to do the same things that you did the last time.
Yeah. I mean, you just do whatever it takes to win. You know, if that helped us last game, you know, our scout and just focus on one player. You just got to do it the next game. So.
All right, Karen, what do you think her future looks like? What are you expecting from her going the rest of the way here?
Oh, I think she's got a really high ceiling because, you know, first of all, she has what I call a motor that you can't teach, a competitive spirit about herself that you can't teach what she has. She understands how to win, and she understands the speed of the game and the intensity level that it takes to play at what we're trying to do. I think the reason I say her ceiling is so much higher is that she transitioned from the forward position last year, which she probably should have never been in anyway, just because she played it in high school. Like, we needed to transition her probably last year. But having Jordan out, she sacrificed herself really and played the 4. But this year she's completely moved to the perimeter. She spends every morning with Jamie in the gym working on her skill set, and I think that we haven't even hit the ceiling yet. I mean, she hasn't had a complete off season to work on the perimeter. I also think she understands what it takes now to be a successful perimeter player on offense because of the work that she's done with Jamie I think now she gets it. Like, she knows that this is what I have to do every day, and I think we're going to see some big things ahead.
Maya, talk about making that transition. How hard was it, and how much have you enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it so much. I learn new stuff every single day. Coach Jamie is just when she talks to me, it's like a sponge. You know, you don't really get to people don't really often get to wake up every day and work with a Hall of Famer, you know. So I just take as much as I can from her every day and just stack days.
All right, take us through what you do in the classroom and what's fun there as you get your studies here at UTSA.
I just.
Being humble because she's a heck of a student.
I am. I'm not gonna lie. I do love being in school, but I'm majoring in psychology this year, and I love learning about the brain and all of that. So. Yeah, just being in my books and, you know, learning new stuff every day.
Just soaking it all in and learning something new.
Yep.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck and continue to have a great season, and hope you guys keep on winning.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That's Maya Littner with us out here on the radio show. We'll come back with one more segment and visit with Karen a little bit more in our final segment of the show. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. Make it known, if you haven't already heard, that Karen is on the Kathy Delaney Smith Mid-Major Coach of the Year watch. Congrats on that. Talk about what that award means and what you know about Kathy Delaney Smith.
She's a legend for sure. I mean, she was at Harvard for a really, really long time and is known for one of the biggest upsets that ever happened in NCAA history. She was, I believe, at 16 that beat Arkansas when she was at Harvard. So just a fantastic coach and, humbled always to be mentioned in the breath of anybody that impacted our game as much as she did. But, it's kind of like our players right now. Like, we really haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
So let's just stay the course and not worry about anything.
Before I ask you the rest of the basketball questions, I'm sure Claire wants to make sure that your household will be very red and white on Sunday afternoon for Chiefs and Bills.
No doubt about it. She swears they're going to three-peat. She's been saying it since day one, so... Oh, well, I guess maybe they will.
I guess we'll see on Sunday if they get to the Super Bowl again.
The Bills are pretty good.
All right. You have a week off before your trip to Florida next week and to Philadelphia. So talk about what you do to keep the momentum. You probably want to keep playing, but you have this weekend off.
Yeah, you normally do want to keep playing, actually, but this group probably needs to take a breath. They were off today, and I mean, they had to go to class. I'm assuming they went to class. But it's been it came at a good time. I'll put it that way. We had some players that after that long road trip last week, which we were on the road for 5-6 days, whatever that was. And then they really had to turn the page pretty quick to get ready for Tulsa. So I think this came at a good time, and we'll manage that. Have some. Tomorrow should be a really good day, really good practice, and then. Squeeze in another day off somewhere before we get ready for South Florida. So, big test. These next few games are separator games, in my opinion.
Where can you get better? What do you want to work on? Where do you want to see the next level of improvement?
I'm a stickler with rebounding, and I thought we did okay last night, but we've been weirdly not rebounding well for us. I mean, I'm a pretty big stickler with rebounding, but we just haven't rebounded the way I expected us to. So I think we can be better with that. And I think the biggest place that I think we can be better is there's a few more players that I'm not pulling the trigger on, and I think we need to establish more depth so that we're ready for a tournament run in Fort Worth. And you never know when foul trouble is going to happen when you try to play 3 or 4 games in a row and somebody gets fatigued, and we have to have a couple of more players that are comfortable enough to say I'm ready, and I just haven't quite pulled the trigger enough on a couple of them. So that's where I think we can get better. I think we can press more if we play more players, and our press is really good, but I've got to stick a few more in there.
With the more and more threes being shot, that usually means more longer rebounds to the free throw line. It takes a little bit of skill to say, okay, I got to figure out where this ball's going so I can beat the defender there.
It's crazy. We had a staff meeting on Monday because it happened at UAB. They shoot a lot of threes, as does Tulsa. That's their game plan. And so we had a staff meeting on Monday, and I'm like, y'all tell me if you have something that like we're not doing, because kids know I want to rebound. So Cam told me about one that he blockout drill that he had when he played that was a little bit more it applied more to long rebounds.
Right.
So we did it Monday, and I thought that it helped. So we'll probably revisit that before we play South Florida, and then you turn the page and there's a couple of teams we play after them that they get down and dirty in the paint. So that'll change a little bit. So it's just game by game, and that's where it's helped to have some maturity. They understand, okay, this team does this, and we didn't really have that last year. I mean, we didn't have enough players that either IQ wasn't high enough or they just weren't mature enough to understand the scouts and things, but we're a lot more mature at that stuff.
All right, Karen, thanks so much as always. We'll do it again on Monday night.
Thank
and
you.
have a good weekend off.
Thank you.
All right, that's Karen Aston with us out here. Our next show is next Monday. We get on a Monday routine here for a little bit with the schedules changing a little bit to Wednesdays and Saturdays. And so we'll see you back out here at Chicken and Pickle on Wednesday. UTSA men take on Tipple on Saturday afternoon. 2:30 is our broadcast time for the Roadrunners and the Owls. Thanks to all of us out here this evening, to Karen, to Maya, to Nick, and to Austin, and to Michael Bartlett back at the studio producing tonight's show. See you on Saturday. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network.